Right, I'm never actually sure exactly when this thing starts. Now, I tried waiting until it pops up on my screen here, and that just meant that there is an interminable pause. Right, I'm never. Okay, well, that gives me a clue of when it starts, actually, so I'll know for next time. Good evening, darlings, and the warmest of welcomes to Monday Night Live with me, whoever I am. Boaty, that's right, that's me, isn't it? I've remembered now. Yes, a very warm welcome to Monday Night Live, where I will be coming into your eyes and ears for the next hour, or possibly more, direct from Windy Bottom here in the Peak District National Park. And I've not seen you since Thursday. Oh, I have. I saw you on Sunday, didn't I? Yes, of course. I did a live stream Sunday, which was, yesterday. Gosh, it was only yesterday, wasn't it? It's been, it's been quite a weekend. And I'm just so excited to catch up with you. Obviously, I want to hear all of your news. I want to know what you've been up to over the weekend. I want to know how you're doing. How are you doing? How's things? Have you had a good weekend, a bad weekend, an indifferent weekend? What have you been eating? What, if anything, nearly but not quite fell on your head? I mean, anything you want to tell me. We're all chums here, and it's just nice to catch up, isn't it? I have had a good weekend, and I've had a really quite excellent day today. So, let's just jump right in and see who's here and just catch up with each other. It's lovely. I'm really looking forward to this. I've missed you terribly, my little pert pointing buttocks. I always do when we're not together. So I have equipped you, as you can possibly see, with new fresh candles. We don't have new fresh flowers, and they are, well, they're Donald Ducked, really, aren't they? Let's be fair. So replacement flowers will be on the agenda, because I know how much you like them. They probably look better to you than they do in real life. I mean, to me, they just look, they look like a vase full of dead flowers, basically, which is pretty much what they are. I mean, they've been going for 2.5 weeks or something, haven't they? So that's splendid. I'm fully equipped with Vimto, so I've got Vimto and I've got you. Now, if that's not everything that a man could need, I don't know what jolly well is. So I've got some bits and pieces to catch you up on, but let's see who we've got. I don't want to get a million miles behind on the comments as I normally do I? Barry, good evening to you. Pingu. Oh, gosh. Pingu's getting all Latin on my ass. And Vamos Carlos. Yeah, I mean, there was a Formula One weekend, wasn't there? Wasn't there indeed? And obviously, I didn't get to enjoy it live. I was at the MGZ Register 100 Years of MG celebration at the Great British Car Journey with some of you lovely people. And those who weren't there in reality, hopefully joined me virtually during the live stream, either at the time or subsequently. But I did listen. I never watch. I listened to the radio coverage of the F1, and it was jolly exciting. Sainz drove a phenomenal race by the sound of it, absolutely phenomenal. George was, I was about to say he was terribly unlucky. I mean, well, I mean, it was his own fault, wasn't it? I mean, it was driver error. But you'd have to say that you're somewhat unfortunate, at least, to have that happen on the last lap when you've not made a mistake all the way thus far. Great drive from Lando, great drive from Lewis, and what a joy to have the first non-Red Bull victory of the season. And good in a way, I suppose, that, and I apologise if you're on the wonk. Now, obviously, as you know, on a Monday, I take Sonia, my little mini tripod, upon which you are perched. I take her to the Yard of Dreams, and she assumes a different position. Mrs. She assumes a different position during the lunch video than that which she assumes here, performing live stream duties. And she's not as yet capable of moving herself between one position or the other. I have to, quite frankly, manipulate her. And I don't think I've done a bad job, actually, because to me, I'm a harmless windscreen viper. I'm not poisonous. I'm a snake. To me, you look pretty good. So there we are. Jolly good. Stigbürt is with us, smashing pistons. Simon, greetings, Quislings, and I hope you enjoyed Simon's quiz. Now, I wasn't able to make it this week, sadly, because I was driving home from the Yard of Dreams. Now, last week, of course, I was home substantially earlier than normal after our failed acquisition adventure. So I had the absolute pleasure of tuning into Simon's live stream and taking part in his quiz. And I came so close to last in the first one that, a miss is as good as a mile, I suppose. But in the second one, I came second, which was a matter of great pride to me. So I hope tonight went really well. And those of you who did enjoy it, enjoyed it, if that makes any sense. What an amazing last 3 laps for a race. Was worth watching the highlights just to see that, but say Simon talking about the F1. Carlos TM, you called indeed. There's a bit of a name similarity going on there. Hello, Mr. Boaty, says Simon. Hello, Simon. Steve called. I've said good evening to you, I think, but if I didn't, good evening to you again. Ashley is here. Ashley Stewart, evening all. Good evening, Ashley. Thank you for joining us. Sophie Richardson says, hi, Boaty, how are you? Tired but happy, Sophie. And it was lovely to FaceTime you earlier on. We're all getting excited about next weekend, aren't we? Rise of the Streetwise, says Pingu. And I'm fully on board with Rise of the Streetwise. And let's not forget that we have a Streetwise for sale. There will be a no-nonsense sales pitch video going out, being filmed tomorrow and hopefully going out tomorrow. I have taken photographs of it for the advert. Because, of course, at the yard, 3 cars at the yard today that I own, partly, and yet that I hadn't actually seen. So it's really nice to catch up with those. And today's car, what an absolute cracker. Channel members will get a sneak preview of it in tomorrow's daily diary. But we can come on to that afterwards, can't we? Evening, everyone, says Sophie. Braveheart Tina is with us. That's fabulous, says hey, Boaty. And hello to you. Thank you for joining. Sabana, bless him, says hi, Boaty. And hi to you, Sabana. It's really good of you. I mean, it's your day off, sir. So it's jolly decent of you to join in on your day off. Sabana is, of course, the young, handsome chap that channel members will have seen topless in a daily diary video. And the rest of you, you've only got to wait until tomorrow. So, as I said in the video, ladies, you're welcome. Fine figure of a man. Evening, Boat, says Skick. And good evening to you, Skick. How you doing, says Sabana? I'm great, mate. I'm good. God, I'm tired. I really am tired, but it's good. And tomorrow night, I shall be like a living zombie, I imagine, if that's not a contradiction in terms. Oh, this is good news. Well, good news for us. General Cheeseburger. Evening all, nice to be back. We've missed Cheeseburger, haven't we? He, of course, has been on his jollies, on his hollybobs in the United States of Confusion. Was kind enough to check in with us a few times, which is more than I would have done if I was him. I do apologise. A little bit of windy pops there, ladies and gentlemen. But it's wonderful to have you back, Cheeseburger. It really is. I mean, it wasn't quite the same without you and your unique brand of your unique brand. I'll leave it at that. I will leave it at that. Ben is amongst us and says, glad to see Rue de Miran has been decocted. It has indeed, Ben. I did it immediately after it was pointed out. Otter MG is with us. Good evening all. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining. A haiku from Simon. Jolly good. Here we go. I always enjoy these. Greetings from Monday. Weekend is done. We look on. Tomorrow brings news. Oh, well, there we are. Have you been playing with Mustard's feet today, Boaty asked Pingu. No, I have most definitely not been playing with Mustard's feet. Indeed, I can confirm that there was zero physical contact between us on this on the occasion of today. Your candles aren't in line. Is the camera on the wonk, says Cheeseburger, coming straight in. Right, there's a thing going on here. Right, I guess the camera must be on the wonk, because to me, by eye, the candles are perfectly in line. But yeah, I agree. I can see on the screen there that they look as if they aren't in line, but I can't get them to line up. Doesn't matter what I do, they don't want to line up, and I don't know why that is. I mean, oh, sorry, Sonia. I mean, I could move that. There, is that better for you, Cheeseburger? There you go. Try that. Neil is with us. Neil, aka also known as the Gibbinator. And how are you, mate? Hope you're well. Are you working tonight, or is it a night off? Vimto and Candle, says Cheeseburger questioningly. Can I have Linda Lusardi instead? Well, I was chatting with Mustard about the fantasy woman situation. Now, as you know, I've refined my fantasy woman thing. Basically, I'm going to take Alanis Morissette, and I'll have her from, the beginning of being into that sort of thing. But I'm going to swap Alanis Morissette at the age of about 33. I'm going to swap her for Vanessa Paradis. And then I'm going to have Vanessa Paradis through until about 40, maybe 39. And then I'm going to swap her for Pepsi. And I haven't got any further than that. Anyway, Neil says hello all and hello to you. Braveheart Tina is deploying some of the channel member emojis. Rover Joe. Joe. Oh, virtual embrace. Let's all give Joe a virtual hug. How are you, mate? John Morizzi says, evening, Boaty. Sunday live stream was good. Didn't see right to the end, so didn't see if you deployed the sandwiches. I didn't, John. I didn't. I was way too busy chatting away with Joseph. Some of it on camera, a lot of it not on camera. It was really good to catch up with him. And we jabbered on endlessly. And I completely forgot to eat my sandwiches. I deployed them when I got back home. Cheeseburger says, Saint should be driving a Rover, 20 seconds a lap slower than a Merc. Greetings, everyone, says Simon. Hope you had a good weekend. Excellent views, says Ben, on the MG100 live. 337 at the time of counting. Yeah, indeed. Done all right, hasn't it? Yeah, thank you, Ben. Cheeseburger says, oh, now then. You describe your camera tripod as if it was Russell Brand. I have always hated Russell Brand. I think that I always thought, and I've been quite vocal about it, I thought he was a phony. I thought he was a terrible narcissist. I thought he was a bad egg, basically. And I'm not in the least surprised by the latest headlines. And if you think I'm joking, then if you go into the Facebook thing from 100 years ago, when they did those questions that you could have on your profile and you answered a question. And one of the questions I answered was, if I had 2 hours to kill, I'd probably ... And you had to answer it. And my answer was, if I had 2 hours to kill, I'd probably start with Russell Brand. I absolutely detest the guy. Not that I've ever met him or anything like that. I hate him from a distance. George clipped his right hand. Oh, Pingu. Here we go. George clipped his right hand wheels. Who would make such a silly mistake, eh, Boaty? Yeah, I can't imagine Pingu. Well, I mean, there you go. It puts me in good company, doesn't it? Oh, dear. If only I had his resources in terms of putting right the damage afterwards. Evening, Boaty and everyone here, says Mark Prasad. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Hey, boats and all, says Ross, Dinosaur Dad. Good evening to you. 2 goals out of 3 in the quiz. Oh, no idea how that happened. Well done, Ross. Good for you. Hit that like button, folks, or Boaty will start stripping again. Good point, Pingu. Yeah, if you would care to gently caress the like button, obviously, I'd be most grateful. And Simon is inquiring of cheeseburger. Are there any other cheeseburgers, i.e. not general ones? Are there any specific cheeseburgers? Kind enough to check in, says Cheeseburger. It was that or talk to the wife. Florida is 5 hours behind, so it fitted in quite well. Simon says wonky candles are what Mondays are made for. Oh, hello, the rubbish mechanic is here. James, the lovely Mr. Coleman. Good evening, Boaty and everyone, and a jolly good evening to you, sir. I hope that you're incredibly well. Cheeseburger says we need Ted Lowe. Whispering Ted Lowe. We need Ted Lowe to commentate. Boaty appears to be snookered behind the first candle, but can just see enough of the one side to make contact. I love the snooker commentary. For those of you watching in black and white, the pink is the one behind the blue. That actually happened. Snooker in black and white, you got to love it. How art thou, Bernard? Asked Pingu. Bernard is on the missing list, not unexpectedly. We were supposed to be standard modus operandi for Bernard. You plan something, you set it all up. We were supposed to be staying in a nice hotel tonight, and she just goes on the missing list as soon as it gets somewhere nearby. I probably didn't help. She's a big fan of Russell Brand, and we've had some quite active discussions about whether he's a raving arsehole or a born-again decent chap type of thing. And I did send her a message with a link to the first news flash saying, see, told you he was a wrong one. But no, it is absolutely... Somebody has done a nice thing. I interrupt this broadcast to let you know that somebody has done a nice thing, which comes up in green at the top of my doings. Let me investigate. Oh, a gifted membership. Oh, Mark has gifted a membership. That's very generous. Thank you, Mark. And, well, somebody will have got it by now, but I'm not going to scroll forward to see. I'm going to work through the messages and we will find out in due course who our most recent channel member is. So that's really kind. Thank you, Mark. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So Bernard's on the missing list. I knew it would happen. I told you it would happen. I'll let you into a secret. I didn't even book the hotel. I thought on the odd chance that it actually happens, I'll just book something last minute. But nah, I knew it wouldn't. It's, I've known the woman a long time. I know how she operates. 98 times out of 100, this is what will happen. I'm well, thanks, says Rover Joe. And how are you? I'm okay, thank you, Joe. Ross says, hello, Mr. Coleman. Nice to see you. How's the Volvo? Cheeseburger's offering Simon a bacon cheeseburger, which is a very specific type of cheeseburger. A bacon cheeseburger. All right, let's go with that one. Feature number 1. What does and doesn't belong on a burger? And by a burger, I mean a burger in a bun, not just a naked beef burger. Now, things that belong on a burger. Fried onions, absolutely fine. Shredded lettuce, no problem with that. Sliced tomato, if you like. Mustard, by all means. What else can go on there? Another burger. And that's about it, really. Cheese should be illegal on a burger or on anything else. Oh, gherkins. You can have a gherkin on a burger, can't you? That's okay. Ketchup is all right, as long as it's mixed with mustard. Ketchup on its own is unacceptable. Feature number 2. If you're having a burger, should the burger bun Should it be lightly toasted or completely raw? And question number 3, brioche buns for burgers. A step too far? Question mark. Discuss. There were jacket wars. Oh dear. Here we go. Simon says there were jacket wars at the meetup. 2 jackets going at each other, trying to get one up on the other. Well, it is perfectly true that I was wearing a jacket. It is equally true that Mr. Lloyd was wearing a jacket, but there was no war. If there was, it would have been over with very, very quickly. I consider myself to be really quite knowledgeable when it comes to motor cars. Not about modern cars, admittedly, but you know, I've got a wealth of experience, and I know a little bit about a lot of cars. Now, I'm never going to go into a knowledge off with Mr. Joseph Lloyd, because within about 30 seconds of chatting with him, you get I mean, I have never met anybody who has got the wealth, the wealth and breadth of knowledge on cars that he has got. So there was absolutely no war. You see, now I've unwonked those candles for the camera, but now they're wonked to my eye. So is my eye on the wonk? That candle there is too far this way. Needs to go over there. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. There was no war there. James totally agrees about Russell Brand. His mother must have been the only one. I can't read the rest of that out. I can't read the rest of that out, but I 100% agree with you. I think he's, you know, is it fair to judge a celebrity? I don't care if it's fair or not. I enjoy judging people. And if you put yourself up there on a pedestal, then you can't be surprised when people take aim at you. As Hippocrates said, if you prostitute yourself, you must expect to get screwed. Now, I never liked him anyway. The Jonathan Rossgate thing was just horrific, and that was like the final nail in the coffin. And I think he's just a disingenuous, narcissistic, idiotic, unamusing, deeply unpleasant swine, to be perfectly honest with you. But, you know, that's just my opinion. Other opinions are available. Neil says, the media are lying about Russell Brand. They keep saying he's a professional comedian. I guess a useless tosser isn't a profession. Yeah, that should be on my CV, really. Boaty, useless tosser. Barry says, Russell Brand uses women and thinks it's funny. F him. And I completely agree with that. Skick says, whether you like Brand or not, innocent until proven guilty. Well, you're right, Skick, in strictly legal terms. Well, I mean, you are right. In legal terms, under the British system of justice, anybody, any man or woman is innocent until proven guilty. Things are slightly different now because in these days, of course, we have trial by media. And I would suggest, I've not been following it closely, but I would suggest that he's probably already been found guilty in terms of trial by media. I've not gone into it. I've had a really busy weekend. I think was it Friday or Saturday that the news came out about this. But from what I understand, there have been some quite in-depth investigations from some quite laudable bodies, as it were. So you would assume that this is a situation where, having gone public with it, it's fairly irrefutable and will prove to be so. But you are completely correct, Skick. The man is innocent until proven guilty. So I'm casting no aspersions on his guilt or otherwise. I'm just saying that I think he's a horrible, hateful dick. And that's just my opinion. And we don't need a trial for me to give my opinion on Russell Brand. And it would appear that many of you share my opinion. I had a good weekend at the Mid-Mo Air Show, says Barry. Glad to hear it. And now we get on to the gifted membership, so kindly gifted by the lovely Mark. And who got it? Who got it? Oh, Mr. F. So, yeah. Well done, Mr. F, and welcome to channel membership. I'm afraid that you will now have to endure the daily diaries literally on a daily basis. That'll teach you to tune into a live stream, won't it? But yeah, welcome, Mr. F, and thank you again, Mark. That was exceedingly kind of you. Steve Cole says Boaty won with the jacket. Oh, did I? On the basis of go big or go home, I did go in heavy on the jacket front. I mean, it was chilly. It was chilly. It wasn't worn for effect. It was worn because it was bloody chilly. But I did go in with my oh God, I've got a bloody how annoying! I've got a mental block on the name again. My favorite brand of clothing. Oh, Brook Taverner. I went in with a Camel Brook Taverner single-breasted jacket, which is probably my favorite jacket. I've had it. It's been a good servant to me over the years. Well, I'm glad you think I won anyway, Steve. I usually request extra pickles on my cheeseburger. Freshly made, says Pingu. Right. Yeah. Completely forgot about this. You shouldn't need reminding by now, but remember, it is your bounden moral duty to name this live stream. It's entirely down to you guys. Make it amusing, make it not too long so that it actually fits within the parameters. Make it pithy. Don't make it too filthy and get me demonetized. And Cheeseburger says, first line of the video title. For those of you watching in black and white, I quite like that. Bollocks. Buttocks. Buggeration. There you go. We screenshotted that. If you wonder why I screenshot it, it's because I won't remember afterwards. I can't remember my own name or to pull my trousers back up when I've been to the lavatory. I am really old, you see. So I screenshot it so I can have a quick look at them when I come to naming the live stream, when the live stream has finished. And I don't know why I'm going all Magnus Pike on your ass, but it appears I am. Pickles rules, says Simon, and I completely agree with that. Rover Joe says cheese, and he forgot to follow that up with cheeses for the week and should be made illegal in every cultured country throughout the known universe. And then I would have agreed with him. You can pick any level that you care to, any level at all, and cheese will be wrong on it. There is no justification for the existence of cheese, and none of you should eat it. Oh, high praise indeed from Barry. Boaty's jacket could almost qualify for tweed jacket reviews. Oh, well, there you are. Yeah, camel jacket reviews, maybe. Oh, who was it who came up with the camel toe thing? Oh, God, one of the regular suspects. Brand, says Cheeseburger. I remember hearing the recorded radio show when he went for Andrew Sachs. He should have been finished after that. And I completely agree with that, Cheeseburger. That was reprehensible. That was unforgivable. It was just, it was horrendous. And they both should have been finished after that, really. it's, it's wrong that it's, I mean, it was just horrendous. I remember that very well indeed. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, not that you'd know necessarily, but I'm pretty sure that occurred during my separation, during the 2 years that I spent living alone at the cottage in Wales, before we got back together so she could divorce me. And Mr. F says, thanks, Mark. Very kind of you, sir. And deploys the mustard is a muff magnet emoji, which is, of course, available to all channel members at no extra charge. Dinosaur Dad, Ross says, beetroot and more beetroot. On a burger. What's the matter with you? Mark says, toasted burger, onions, red sauce, and mustard. Well, you're a man of great wisdom, taste, and perspicacity, Mark, because that would be a perfectly acceptable burger to me. Slightly toasted bun, you got your burger, you got your onions, and then a mixture of ketchup and mustard. Spot on, sir. Well done. Rover Joe says, lightly toasted in butter for flavour. Oh, God. Well, flavour and cholesterol, but sounds good. Cheeseburger says, my daughter had a burger last night with peanut butter on. I blame the parents. I really do. Sophie says, how do you like your toast, Boaty? And everyone else, how do you like yours? Well, this is a new feature. How do you like your toast? Good question. Now, I can go one of two ways with toast. My favourite toast, and the way I have it most habitually, is kind of medium rare, lightly toasted, in other words, lightly toasted. And then I like it to cool slightly on the toast rack so that I can lavish butter upon it and the butter doesn't melt. I love that. So it's kind of lukewarm at best. And I suppose it's really a crunchy vehicle for the butter as much as anything else. But every so often, and if it's a thick cut, crusty doorstep, then I like it kind of medium well done with piping hot with lashings of butter so the butter does all melt. It depends. Certainly, if I was serving toast or if I was having breakfast with somebody else, then the toast would cool on the toast rack. Excellent butter in individual butter pats for each placement at the table. And then that's how I would have it, kind of lukewarm with the butter unmelted, spread with a butter knife. Toast doesn't taste the same if you don't spread it with a proper butter knife, if you don't spread the butter. But, when I'm alone and I've got a big doorstep crust, go long in the toaster and have the full melted butter so that it runs down your chin. How do you like your toast? Let's hear all about that. Mr. Coleman says, eggs don't belong on a burger, period. And I would 100% agree with that. Oh, cheeseburger, you really are back, aren't you? What's the collective noun for two, can't say the word, twerps in jack? Well, I mean, that's just rude, cheeseburger. Rude, I tell you. You'll be sorry you said that if you're the one picked to challenge the beige bomber. Yeah. You'll be laughing on the other side of your face then, cheeseburger. Yeah. John Moretti says, you did have a proper Clarkson vibe going on last Sunday. Yeah, but it's not. Oh, is it a Clarkson vibe? Or is it just how decent chaps dress? I've always liked a jacket. I've worn jackets ever since I can remember. I have a wide selection of jackets in my wardrobe. But I also like casual or smart casual. And I don't like wearing trousers particularly. I like wearing jeans. So long before I knew of the existence of Jeremy Clarkson, really, I was wearing jeans and a jacket with a shirt and a nice pair of quality boots. And let me tell you, I was wearing some excellent boots on Sunday. Lokes, thank you very much. Lokes Chelsea boots. And that is just my style. And it just so happens, I guess, that that Jeremy Clarkson dresses similarly. Also has a pronounced veranda over the pleasure gardens. You know, we both look like a capital D when we turn sideways. And he smokes like a chimney. But there we are. Toast, says Simon. Hot, thick bread and buttered while it's still warm. There we go. Somebody just says, Barry just says Hubbard, and that's aimed at General Cheeseburger. Oh, I see. That's in response to Cheeseburger asking what was the collective noun for two fine gentlemen in jackets. And he doesn't say fine gentlemen, believe me. Otter MG agrees with James that an egg has no place on a burger. Well, clearly not. I mean, that's just utterly and intensely wrong. Mr. F quite rightly points out to Cheeseburger, don't mess with the beige bomber. Correct. He has well hidden inner strength and crazy kick-ass skills. And 100% correct. Cheeseburger says eggs don't belong on anything. Well, that's not fair. They belong on a plate with sausage and chips, don't they? Or they belong on a plate with a full English breakfast. But I'm not reading that out, Cheeseburger, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And then he goes on to say, I think Boaty quite likes Brand, really. Removing Boaty from this, because cheese, says Simon. Who has cheese on beans on toast? And does the cheese go on top or under the beans? Oh, God, are we going to have this conversation? Right. Allow me to educate you about beans on toast. Only one thing belongs on beans on toast. And that one thing is a light to medium dusting of ground white pepper. Or maybe a bit of Worcester sauce. Or if you live in the north, Henderson's relish. But yeah, I mean, bit of pepper on your beans, all you need. I mean, cheese, oh God. But, Barry has also noticed that the Rue de Miron sign has been unpodgered. It has. It has been unwonked. Yes. And we don't need to go into the story about that again. I didn't want to do that. Keep doing that by accident. Adam, pure evil, says, cheese on top if you're grating it on, underneath if it's sliced. And that's an answer to cheese on your beans on toast. And, well, I mean, that kind of makes sense. Otter MG says, welcome, Mr. F, but be warned, this is actually a foot fetish group. Not anymore, it isn't. For Pingu, who occasionally is worth his weight in gold, says, for those watching in black and white, Boaty is the one in the middle. I'm going to screenshot that as well, because if that's not too long, that would be a good title for the video. Also, good evening, everyone, says Adam. Glad to be back following my expedition to the deep south. Oh, well, let us know where you've been. Pingu says, when was the last time you ate cheese, Boaty? That would be never, obviously. Cheeseburger says, for those of you watching in black and white, the leather interior is beige. That's quite good as well. I like that one. I just saw Elvis at the customer service desk in B&Q, says Black Lines. Good evening, Black Lines. Oh, God. Return the sander. Dear God. Oh, take that joke out and give it a damn good thrashing. Oh, this is quite clever from Adam. Cheese is for the week. Cheesecake is for the weekend. I think that was the quote you were going for. No, I hadn't heard that one. Return to Sander. Oh, dear. That's awful, says Cheeseburger. That's hilarious, says Otter. Both aimed at Black Lines. Oh, it was Ernest who commented on your camel toe jacket, says Simon. Yeah, right, yeah. Well, I said it was one of the usual suspects, didn't I? Blackline says, hot toast with butter and golden syrup on it is sublime. Immediate diabetes, though. Oh, God. Sophie's toast is lovely and golden brown, and the butter is melted on. Crusty bread makes the best toast, says Neil, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. Oh, God above. Right. I do apologise for these. Ross says, I've got a new pet termite called Clint. Clint eats wood. God. Dear God. I deserve to be demonetized for these bloody jokes. A crunchy vehicle for your butter describes most MG Rover cars, says Simon. Oh, dear. Oh, God above. Black lines again. I removed the shell off my racing snail to make him faster, but now he's gone sluggish. Dear Christ. Pingu says, for the upcoming winter season, bring back the toast racks. Hashtag toast sweat. And I did have to miss a word out there for reasons of decency, but I agree. Well, I don't think the toast rack should ever have gone away. They shouldn't need bringing back. They should never have gone. Oh, Cheeseburger bravely says, I'll take on the beige bomber. You'd bottle it, Cheeseburger. You'd bottle it at the last minute. I'll come along in my larder. No beige leather interior in that. Cheeseburger. No, you're absolutely correct here, Cheeseburger. 100% correct. Loke's shoes take some breaking in, but once done, they're really comfy. That is 100% true. They're terrible until they're broken in. They're the kind of shoe that you need to wear for short periods around the house before you could actually go out for a day or an evening in them, because the leather is so stiff that, oh God, it can cut into your feet. They're horrendous. I've been wearing Loke's shoes for, many years. And that is absolutely correct. They're killers until they're worn in. But once they're worn in, like anything else that's made of really first-class leather, of course, the leather will mold itself to the shape of you. So they become the most comfortable things that you've ever worn, but it takes a while to get there. They're like a Brooks saddle, for those of you who are old enough to remember Brooks bicycle saddles, leather, of course. Like sitting on a razor blade for the first 10,000 miles, and then like sitting in the comfiest armchair you've ever sat on. They are incredibly comfortable. Loke said the only shoes I've ever had resold, because they become so incredibly comfortable that when the sole wears out, I will keep resoling them until the actual leather uppers split, which does happen eventually. They're just incredibly comfortable. I'll take an egg on a burger, says Steve Cole. Well, you need shooting. Rob is here, and this is Hedgehog Rob, of course. Oh, and this is, excuse me. This is in reference to a previous wind-up I did on mustard. Are baked beans or peas? Dear me, I enjoyed that. Ross says Branston pickle on beans on toast. And I can only hope that you're joking, Ross. I mean, that sounds utterly horrendous. Barry says, I like my toast, burgers and Savoy nude. The only sauce I like is curry and bolognese. Oh, okay. Oh, have we got any Savoy updates? I don't have a Savoy update, and I'd completely forgotten about it. But now that somebody has mentioned Savoys, I really, really want a Savoy again. Right, this week, without fail, I'm going in search of a Savoy. That'll make a good video title. I'll see if I can track one down online. Now, somebody did tell me I screenshotted it. I need to go back and look. Was it who was it? Was it could have been Barry? Did tell me that there's Saveloys are for sale in oh gosh, was it South Normanton or South Wingfield? No, South Normanton, wasn't it? £1.80. £1 bloody 80 for a Saveloy. Outrageous. I'll see if I can find one a bit closer. Adam stayed in St. Ives, but travelled around as far north as Tintagel and as far south as the Lizard, which is, of course, the southernmost point of England. Disappointingly, no lizards there, though, but a good fish and chips. I think all the lizards were in Singapore, weren't they, invading the Formula One track. Mark says, as you described beans on toast, and the only topping I was willing you to say, white pepper, and you did, because it's correct, Mark. You know that, I know that. We just need everybody else to learn. Whatever happened to toast toppers, asked Simon. They were awful, but I still kept buying them. I've got no idea what they are, and I've got no idea what happened to them. Ross says, jacket potato, Phil. Not sure. Blackline says, oh, God, toast toppers. You just reminded me of those crab paste jars you used to be able to buy. Have you ever had a crab paste sandwich? I remember those. They were little jars, weren't they? About the same size of a jar of Vicks Vapo Rub. And that's something that I should have in the house. But every house should have some Vicks Vapo Rub. I haven't had any for years and years and years. Your grandmother used to rub a bit on your chest at night, didn't she? I would quite like to rub some on Vanessa Paradis' chest, quite honestly. You know, purely in order to keep her airwaves clear and so on. Boaty asked Pingu, do you indulge in a bit of Marmite action? God, I haven't tried Marmite or Vegemite for years and years and years and years and years. I didn't hate it back in the day, as far as I can remember, but it's decades since I've tried it. Simon says, Black Lions, yes. I'm sure I saw those in Asda the other day. Oh, what are we? Oh, God, right, we're talking about the crab paste. John Stoodley is with us, channel member now, of course, and thank you very much for that. Hey, Boaty, hey, chat on this lovely evening. Well, thank you for joining us. Cheeseburg says, talking of breaking things in, are we back to brand? Oh, God. Yeah, I don't like the man. Title from Ross, we don't talk about cheese on this channel. I'll screenshot that. Best pair of shoes I ever had was Bally, says Cheeseburger. Couldn't afford them today. Not familiar with those. Simon says, does this stream keep dropping out for everyone or just me? Well, it hasn't dropped out for me, Simon, and it hasn't dropped out for Adam. So possibly just you, mate. South Normanton Chippy, enjoy. Thank you, Barry. Yes, I thought it was you. South Normanton Chippy. That's not a million miles away. No, the problem with South Normanton, it's not the distance I object to. The problem is I would have to go there. I would go as if I was going to work, and that would mean doing the same journey twice in a day. And I don't like doing that. It seems more onerous than doing the same distance, but on a different journey. I had to do it on Sunday because, of course, Great British Car Journey is only just a couple of miles from the restaurant. So I effectively drove to work twice on Sunday and back from work twice. But it was lovely. It was, I didn't hate it, actually. I know somebody has done a nice thing. Who has done that? Who has done that? Oh, Neil, bless you. Boaty, well, Neil has sent a £5 super chat, and that's incredibly kind and decent of him. Boaty, could we do a TF showdown on Sunday? Yeah, yeah, we could. What do you mean, a TF showdown? You're not bringing a TF, are you? What did you have in mind, sir? Let me know what you had in mind. But But yeah, I really enjoyed Sunday. I didn't go in the museum, of course, but it was really nice. I mean, it was lovely to have a good long catch up with Joseph, but it was also lovely to see Simon and Rob and their alter egos, Norman and Ernest, silly pair of sods. And it was lovely to see Underscore, the artist formerly known as Underscore, who, if you're wondering, completely ignored me all day. So, I mean, in fairness, it was probably a mutual ignoring. If you come right down, there was a point where I was kind of tempted to just go and say, "Hello, mate. What's all this about? Come on, let's sort this out." But I didn't. So there we are. So that was quite weird because Matt was acting as cameraman, operating a gimbal for Norman and Ernest. So there he was filming me and simultaneously not talking to me. Not even hello, but there we are. Can't be helped. Where did I get to? Just you, I think, says Arthur Simon. £1.80 for a Savoy. Yeah, I mean, £1. Oh, Savoy's deployed today, Boaty, says Pingu. Gosh, how much did you pay for it? How much was your Savoy? And what did you have your Savoy with? Did you have the proper Savoy experience? Chips, curry sauce, wrapped in paper. That's how it's. Oh, Mustard's here. Mustard is here. Project Nigel. We've had a great day. I haven't even begun to tell you about today, have I? Didn't we have a great day today, Mustard? It was a jolly good day. Rather splendid lunch and all sorts of other good. And it's quite productive as well. Oh, Mustard. I forgot that gear knob, didn't I? Remind me next Monday. Or somebody else remind me. I've got a weird thing on Barney, the Streetwise. The gear knob in its correct position, in the straight head position, is just totally loose. Pulls off when you change gear. And I've had to kind of wrench it round like that so that it's not in the straight head position to stop it from coming off. But then it keeps going back to the straight head position and you pull it off in the middle of a gear change. And, excuse me. So I questioned Mustard about the fitment of the facelift Rover 25 gear knob to see if I was doing something stupid. And apparently, pre-facelift, they screw on. Post-facelift, big old heavy knob, by the way. If you've ever handled one, you'll be surprised by the heft of the knob in question. And apparently, yeah, post-facelift, they've just got some locating clips and they're just a press fit and they come off by sheer force. And Mustard says it's the best way of punching yourself in the head because you're heaving like that and then you end up, when it does come off, you smack yourself in the head. So I assume that on Barney, the clips must have broken somehow. I don't know how. I haven't done anything to it. I haven't broken it. But there we are. So I was supposed to bring the other gear knob home to see if that fixed the problem. And that, I think that is actually Nigel's gear knob. Mustard will correct me if I'm wrong. And it would be, I would love that actually. I would love to have a bit of Nigel in my daily car. I mean, it would be like, 'cause I do like Nigel. Any of you who've seen the video where I had him for a couple of days and tested him and whatnot, you will know that I'm really very fond of that car. Indeed, he was in the receiving position when I went into the workshop of Dirty Pants today. He had his ass up in the air, ready to receive. But yeah, I would love to have Nigel's knob so that on a daily basis, apart from Mondays, I would be caressing Nigel's knob lovingly. God. Let's move on, shall we? Hi, John. How is Hale Zoe? Nice cheeseburger. Black Line says, I never liked Russell Brand, even before all of this stuff. I thought he was a creepy, lecherous attention seeker years ago. And it looks like my gut was right again. Not my type of person at all. Completely agree with you on all counts, Black Lines. To be honest, I'm genuinely perplexed how anybody could not have seen him like that. I mean, he was such a deliberate arse, an absolute deliberate arse. There's no other word for it. And Bernard was telling me, not that I give a raving toot, Bernard was telling me that apparently he's on tour now doing some mindfulness thing where he accepts that he was a bit of a bad boy in the past and now he's learned and all of this bollocks. And if that's what he has been doing, we can probably see why now. Trying to get some mitigation in there. He's probably thought, right, this is all going to come out at some point. I'd better get some mitigation in saying, yes, I've not been the best of chaps, but I've learned from it and now I'm wonderful and I'm willing to share it all with you. And Bernard was saying, he does these sessions where he interacts with the audience. And I didn't ask her, but if he did these sessions, whatever they are, and if he did these free of charge, then I would say, okay, maybe. But I bet you he didn't. I bet you it was like $14.95 a ticket or something like that. Ugh, not a nice man. Simon says, Paul, have you swapped Nigel's steering wheel yet? Hello, chap, says Mustard, and he will swap it soon, Simon, apparently. Hello, Mustard, how is Derek? Says Cheeseburger. I would become a member to find out, but Boaty won't let us join. Well, you've confused me there, Mustard. Derek sold ages ago. Is there another Derek that I'm not aware of? You mean Derek, the Rover 25 diesel? Yeah, that was my daily for a good while. Becoming a Mustard channel member won't help you find out. Maybe you know he's sold, but you wonder whether Mustard knows how he's got on since he's been sold. I don't know. And you're quite right. I won't let any of you join Mustard's channel until I've caught up. I thought that I was 10 behind him because I had 43 members and Mustard had 53. And I said as much to him today, and he said, actually, it's 55 now. Oh, God. There were 2 occasions today where we wanted to kick each other in the balls. I can't remember what I did or said to make him want to kick me in the balls. And he actually made a move towards me. I had to turn sideways to protect the wedding vegetables. But I really wanted to kick him right in his hairy balls then, at that moment when he told me he had 55 and I was 12 behind. Although thanks to Mark's generosity, I'm possibly now only 11 behind if Mustard's still on 55, but he's probably got 90 by now. And if I kick Mustard in the balls, that would really hurt him because he wears very flimsy shorts. Not much protection there. I mean, if he kicked me in the balls, he'd probably kick harder than I do. But at least I've got the protection of a pair of jeans and a snugly fitting pair of pants. I do like snugly fitting pants. Hello, children of the realm, says Stephen S. Paul, who has joined us all the way from America. Hello, cabbage, says Russ. And then Neil did his very kind thing and asked about the TF showdown, which we will come on to because he will have answered me. It'll just be a bit further on in the comments. Hales Owen is good, mate, says John to Cheeseburger. My sons and I still love the crab salmon paste pots that John West do. John West, that was it, says Mark. And the boys are young, in their 20s. Oh, gosh, I'm 60 this week. Well, happy birthday for later this week. And let us know which one it is, which day it is, and we will be sure to raise a glass to you. Adam says, I'm gutted to have missed Sunday, but I'd driven 396 miles the day before. Simon says, I agree. Good to catch up outside in the car park again. Yeah, it was. It was. I didn't get to say goodbye to you, Matt. I assume you were in the museum, but you weren't around when we went. So I wasn't being rude. You just went there. I assume we were inside, and I wasn't paying £17.50 to go inside. Neil says, could we take the F and the TF for a drive? Joe and you in one, me and Soph in the other. I haven't driven a TF in about 9 years. I'll pay for fuel. Well, that brings us on to an interesting subject, doesn't it, Neil? Because, as some of you know, Wetleg, my MGF, has kind of not had an MOT for a while. And Pingu keeps asking me when has she failed her MOT yet? And of course, Wetleg was booked in today to fail her MOT. Yeah, there we are. So, yeah. Well, let's not talk about that. Well, we'll come on to it in a bit. Oh God, it's gone 1 o'clock, darling. It has gone 1 o'clock, and nobody told me. Excuse me. We'll put the Vimto away in the fridge and save that for another day. I need to wash my mouth out because otherwise my wine. I forgot to put my wine in the freezer. Oh, but that is nice and cold. So that's something. Now, my wine of choice wasn't available. And I should point out that my wine of choice isn't my wine of choice. It's not the wine I would choose to drink. The only reason I choose to drink it is because it is the cheapest wine on the shelf. And they didn't have any of it. So that's I normally have the Sainsbury's House Pinot Grigio. Today, I've had to splash out an extra 15 pence, and I've got the Sainsbury's House Soave. So we'll see what this is like. This is going to taste like pants, because I've just had Vimto. Excuse me while I rinse out my mouth. There we go. Oh, this is going to taste awful. I know it is. It's going to taste of Vimto, but a little bit of housework there. Cheers, darlings. Your very good health. Oh, at first taste, that might actually be worth the extra 15p. That is noticeably drier than the Pinot Grigio. Let's check out the ABV. You see the buggers. 11.5%. Pinot Grigio is 12. You get more drunkenness for your money with the Pinot Grigio. Never mind. I'll just have to drink an extra bottle. That's all. These things can all be worked around, can't they? Now then, where did I get to? As we thunder into hour 2 of tonight's symposium. That looks a bit prominent there, doesn't it? I'll move it over there. I really enjoyed hour 1, and I hope that you did too. Cheesework says, John, meeting the Outlaws on Wednesday at the Nailers Arms, Bourne Heath, halfway between Bromsgrove and Halesowen. Cheeseworker says, Boaty and underscore 2 OAPs having a spat. It's like Compo and Foggy. I'm not having a spat. I still don't know what upset him. I've got no idea. I've got no idea why he flounced off and stopped talking to me. I mean, I assume it's my fault. It normally is, but I don't know specifically what I did or said, but hey ho, there we are. Bloody hell. £2.50 each, says Pingu. The missus paid. And that, I guess, is Savoy news. God, £2.50 for a bloody Savoy. That's outrageous. Maybe I should do an at-home version. Maybe I should peruse the Savoys in the supermarket. That's quite palatable, that is, by the way. Maybe I should peruse the Savoys and buy some of that cheaty curry sauce that you mix with hot water. Because that's all chip shop curry sauces, isn't it? Granules that they mix with water. Maybe I should do that and do a homemade version. Well, not a homemade version, a home cooked, home warmed up version. Homemade would be made from scratch, and I've got no idea how you would make a Savoy. Momo news, darlings, Momo news. I had Momo last night for supper. I had 14 of the little rascals with oodles of chutney, and obviously dressed with finely chopped spring onion and coriander. I mean, I'm not an animal. And it was fantastic. And the other bit of Momo news is I've ordered Momo and chutney for Neil and for Joe. So they are on order and they should be there for you next weekend, guys. Stiff Upper Lip is with us. There's a new name to me. Hello, buddy. Hello to you. Thank you for joining us, Stiff Upper Lip. And remember, when it comes to beastliness, it's not only a stiff upper lip that is required by the gentleman. How to maintain not only a stiff upper lip. Hello, buddy. When are you getting a city rover? Oh, God, probably never. For those who haven't seen the live stream, for those who haven't seen Sunday's live stream, towards the end, when we completely forgot about the camera and Joseph and I just chatted for an hour or so, I mentioned my absolute desire to drive and own a City Rover. And he just went off on the most hilarious rant. He had me, I was falling about with laughter. He just went off on this epic rant about how spectacularly bad the City Rover was. And it was even funnier because it was combined with such depth of knowledge. I mean, he actually picked out the two things that were the only two things that are worthwhile on a City Rover. The one is that if it's fitted with air conditioning, it's quite a good system. And the other is that it's quite a punchy little engine. And then he just went on in massive, and I was maintaining, I know that they're, I mean, I don't know from personal experience that they're bad, but I know how bad everyone else says they are. And that's what would make it so hilarious to own. And he was like, but you wouldn't. Within 5 seconds of you getting in there, you'd want to get straight back out and never see it again in your life. It was really, really funny. But when am I getting one? Whenever one comes up. When a silver one comes up that's got an MOT and has got a fighting chance of getting another MOT the year afterwards. Barney's having trouble with his knob, says Stephen Espel. Cheeseburger says, Neil, pay for fuel? He will make you pay for lunch as well. We know after last week there's nothing like a free lunch. Oh dear. Pingu says the Codfather's knob comes off like that too if you change gear too abruptly. How does that work, Pingu? Codfather's automatic. Isn't he? Yeah, it's a CVT. How can you change gear to? Oh gosh! And it's a completely different kind of knob altogether. Mustard? It's a completely different kind of knob. Somebody mentioned Barry Shitpeas. It doesn't count when I mention Barry Shitpeas, but one of you mentioned Barry Shitpeas in the comments, right? And then when I get to that comment, obviously because one of you have said it, I have to sing the song. And I want you all to join in, right? You all know the song, you know the words, you know the tune. So somebody bang it in the comments when we come to it. Genuinely, I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're in your living room and the kids are asleep upstairs. I don't care if your wife is next to you and will think that you're a barking lunatic. I want you to join in with the song. And if you don't, God will know and God will punish you. So there we go. That's something for us to look forward to, isn't it? Cheeseburger says, I want to put a leather gear knob on my Beamer because it has a crappy plastic one. You need a degree in microelectronics to change it, though. Some people worship arseholes, says Pingu. Opposites attract. Is that a rimming reference? Cheeseburger says, brand. He has no respect for anyone, regardless of age, sex, or gender. Simon says, Pingu, I thought you were going to recite the Team America ending. Mr. F says, Mr. Boaty, how is your MGF doing these days? Well, my MGF was booked in today to fail her MOT. Cheeseburger says, if it's not Derek, what was the Rover that was written off? Only channel members know. Oh, right. No, it was it was Eric, as Simon says. It was Eric that was written off, who then became Zomberic. So yeah. I know the video that you're referring to now, and it was just am I allowed to talk about this, Mustard? Because it is one of your members only videos. Basically, Mustard was just giving you, the viewer, well, and me, because I didn't know, an update on the insurance situation. And the update on the insurance situation is absolutely ridiculous. And there's no way on God's earth that I would stand for it if it was me. I would be making a lot of noise. And I would be additionally claiming, I mean, sod what I said earlier. I said, right, I need a hire car. I need this. I need that. I need the other. I'm racking up these expenses, this, that. And I would be firing all sorts at them. It's absolutely ridiculous. And honest to God, that I wouldn't stand for it. I absolutely wouldn't stand for it. I would be making such a song and dance that I would be getting it sorted. And I'm annoyed on Mustard's behalf because he's a nice chap. He's not a confrontational chap, and he will just take it, and it'll annoy him, and it will affect him. And he shouldn't have to take it or be annoyed or affected. I'm tempted to masquerade as his legal representative and wade in on his behalf and make bloody legal mincemeat of them, because there's absolutely, as far as I'm aware, there's no possible justification for this interminable delay. And if there is justification for the delay, then he's entitled to not be disadvantaged, certainly not financially or in any other way, by the situation. That's what insurance companies are there for. They are there to restore the equity. So if Mustard is going to be left with no car and no money to replace the car for that period of time, he's entitled to be compensated for that. And yeah, I would love to go into bat on his behalf. Diddly-do. Snuggly looking pants would be better, says Ross. Wine o'clock, says Simon. Thank you, somebody, for remembering. And Simon said, yeah, we were having lunch when you went, I think. Oh, you were in the cafe, were you? Cheeseburger says, does anybody remember Harry Enfield doing the old gits? Of course I do. You've not seen nothing like what's in my potty today. That is this community. Yeah, well, I don't know about Harry Enfield's old gits. I like to think of us as we're like tugs. We're like the community that were the tugs, Teddy's old geezers and gals, because you could be a tug irrespective of age. You could be 17 years old and still be a tug. And that's what this community is like. We might behave like a load of old gits at times, but you don't need to be old to be a functioning member of the community. And we've got some fetuses in here. Neil is a fetus. Joe is a fetus. Adam is a fetus. Rover Joe is a fetus. There's fetuses are plenty and they fit in beautifully, I have to say. Blackline says, early night for me. Good night all. Good night to you. Cheeseburger says, Simon, I see why I'm confused. Derek was Eric in the Dominoes. Oh, God. Wetleg's rear end has popped up. Sorry, master, I've dishonoured you. Pure Evil says, why not add Vimto to the wine? Said like someone who has clearly never drank wine, I'm sure. Yeah, that would be horrendous. Can't wait to give you your wine, Boaty. Hope you will like it, says Sophie. I will love it. Of course I will, because it's sent with love and thoughtfulness, and that will make it taste all the sweeter or drier. And it's really kind and thoughtful of you, and I'm so grateful. Mark says, any Pinot Grigio with a bit of blackberry cassis is blooming lovely. And I have got some of that, thanks to Simon, who brought some back from France for me, and I still have some remaining. Barry says, wine tastes awful anyway. I've tried it many times, and it tastes like hand soap. Steve Cole says, last of the winter wine. This is a flames-free zone, says Stephen Espel. Hour 1, Dr. Jekyll. Hour 2, Mr. Hyde. Yeah, the wine. I'll bring my chill box, says Neil, with me as I've got your Mr. Dave's cutting. Oh, bless you, have you? I've tried to join your channel, Master, says Wetleg's rear end, but computer says no. Simon's off and says night, folks. And here we go. Nigel has done it. Project Nigel, Captain Mustard, says we call him Barry Shitpeas because he shits peas. So, everybody, they call him Barry Shitpeas because he shits peas. And if you didn't join in with that, shame on you. Thank you, Mustard. I always maintain a stiff upper lip, says stiff upper lip. Night, Simon, great quiz, says Ross. Well, he would say that. He won 2 of them. Mustard says, I give away the result of the F's MOT, by the way, in my video. Is that, and I can, it's going public tomorrow in relation to the channel members video. Okay, is your video live yet? And okay, if I can talk about that video that's going live tomorrow, basically Mustard isn't getting the insurance money until at least February. And how idiotic and mad and ridiculous and unfair and unreasonable is that? I was champing at the bit when I saw that video. I had a CVT on hold, says Cheeseburger. It cruised lovely. It tries to create 6 gears with manual change. Yes, same as a Rover. Basically, if you need to put your foot down, it just screams at 3k revs. Nice on the highway, though. Russ says, down here we have a thing called right to drive, part of the car registration fee. Free car until it's all sorted. Cheeseburger says, insurance claims are process driven these days. You can't achieve anything if computer says no. My assistant at work has a similar problem. It's not good. Tog says cheeseburger. Yes, we're all coffin dodgers. Adam says it's been a while since I've been called fetus. Mustard says keep the effing noise down. Oh, it's after 11. He said keep the fucking noise down. Oh, is that in relation to the song? I sang the song with you, says Sophie. Well done. A community of Togs would be a wonderful thing, says oh, balls. I didn't. Oh, God, what's happened there? A community of Togs would be a wonderful thing, says Mark. And Mustard says tonight's video is going live straight after your stream. Okay, well, let's talk about Wetleg's MOT then, shall we? Let's talk about Wetleg von Tittybiscuits MOT. She was booked in for MOT today. I can tell you that. And I agree that a community of Togs would be a wonderful thing. Maybe we could be BOGGS, Boaty's old geezers and gals. BOGGS. I quite like that. How do you all fancy being BOGGS? Or do you not fancy it at all and you tell me to bog off? Yeah, Wetleg was booked in for MOT today at 2 o'clock. I can confirm that Wetleg went in for MOT at 2 o'clock. Boaty's BOGGS again, says Mr. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Yeah, Boaty's BOGGS has been a thing. And after Wetleg went in for her MOT, I was given this piece of paper. Right, I've caught up with the comments. Oh, somebody's done a nice thing. Who's done that? Oh, Mark. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Now then. Oh, Sophie's off to bed. Good night, all sleeper. Mark has just gifted 5 memberships. 5 memberships. That's incredibly generous. Thank you so much, Mark. Now, who are the recipients? Let's have a look. Carlos TM is now a channel member. Humphrey, son of Boaty, is now a channel member. Windy Miller is now. Windy Miller. I didn't even know you were watching. Windy Miller is now a channel member. Caroline Ellis, who I also didn't know was watching, is now a channel member. Caroline, how did you manage to find this all on your own? You little technophobe, you. You can't find my live streams without being sent the link. Well, jolly well done you. And Ross says, Windermiller walks in and gets a membership, the jammy sod. And Chaz Brown. So we've got 5 new channel members. So that's Carlos TM, Humphrey, son of Boaty, Windy Miller, Caroline Ellis, and Chaz Brown. Mark, that is incredibly generous of you. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you so much. And welcome to these 5 most recent channel members, which makes 6 new channel members in total, which means that I'm catching Mustard up. And that's jolly exciting. I'm very excited about that. Let's hope he doesn't do another live stream soon. And extend his lead even further. That really is kind of you, Matt. And I really am grateful. And yeah, the warmest of welcomes to you guys, guys and girl, who are now my newest channel members. And I hope you enjoy access to all of the perks and getting the daily diary videos and all of that. So yeah, welcome. Cheeseburger says, Mustard insurance, escalate to deadlock, then go to the ombudsman. There are people here, including me as well as Boaty, who can help with the process, emails, etc. Yeah, absolutely. And I second that advice. You shouldn't just don't bend over and take this, and don't take it on the chin. There are, there are two possibilities here. Either they have to just cut through all the nonsense and sort it, and they have to take the delay if the delay isn't with them, if it's with the third party, or you need to be compensated for the situation in which you find yourself. And quite apart from any other compensation, you absolutely should be in a hire car. You should definitely be in a hire car, which would all be charged to the anyway. But yeah, Boaty's BOGGS has got to be the video title, says Cheeseburger. We'll screenshot that because that is I quite like the BOGGS thing. Do you like the BOGGS thing? Boaty's old geezers and gals. I quite like that, and it'd be quite nice if we had a kind of community name, a community identity. If we were the BOGGS. The BOGGS are in town, the BOGGS are this, the BOGGS are that. I quite like that. I do quite like that. And I like the fact that it's a bit of a nod to the Togs. And I was a very proud Tog, as I think most of you know. I was a big fan of Teddy Wiggum, and I did write quite a lot of the stuff for the breakfast show. Along with many other people, of course. See you in a couple of days, Boaty, says Sophie. I'm counting down the days. I'm really looking forward to it, Soph. We'll have a fabulous weekend. Night Sophie says Cheeseburger. Ross says BOGGS must have 2 G's for the guys and gals. Oh, okay, that would separate it, wouldn't it? So shall we do BOGGS with 2 G's? Boaty's old geezers and gals. Yeah, I like that. Double G. I'm doing one tomorrow, says Mustard. Doing one what? Give me a clue. Good evening, Jason, says Rover Survival. How's life treating you? Not too badly. Not too badly at all. Thank you, and thank you for joining us. Good night, everyone, says Sophie. Good night to you, Sophie. Have a safe and peaceful night. Thank you for joining us. Lovely to chat with you on FaceTime earlier. And so glad you're excited about coming up for next weekend. For those who don't know, 3 of them are making the journey up. We've got Sophie, who you all know, the lovely Neil, who you all know. You've seen both of them on my videos and Mustard's videos and lunch videos. And of course, the fabulous Joe, who I assume is working or doing something else tonight. He's not around. But yeah, Joe's going up to Neil and Sophie's, and then they're all coming up here to me in the Peak District on next Saturday. They're spending next Saturday night in the hotel, which is just over there, which is where Joe stayed before. And again, you'll be familiar with that hotel, I'm sure. It's just a random hotel perched in the middle of nowhere up here on top of the moors. Sunday we're going to spend together having fun, and then they are heading up to a hotel in Rochdale for Sunday night, and then they will I forgot to mention Saturday night they're coming to the restaurant. On Saturday night. Yes. Then Sunday we're going to hang out and have fun, and then Sunday night they're heading up to Rochdale, spending the night in Rochdale at a hotel there. And then they're going to spend all of Monday at the yard with myself and Mustard. And it's just going to be great, really. You've all seen them on video. They're great fun. They're lovely people. And we'll have a lot of fun. And we will film it all so that you guys can share it as well. Boaty boggles, says Rover Survival. Total insurance loss is lowest priority, says Cheeseburger. They don't make money on it. Well, yeah. Good evening, says Hooked on Classics, the lovely Simone. And good evening to you, Simone. You're up late. You're normally going to bed at around this time. Boing, boing, buggies, buggies. You need to be a football fan for that. Hi, Simone. Hope you're doing well. Mark says you have a wonderful channel, supporters and subscribers. That's very kind of you, Mark. I'm delighted to be part of it. I'm delighted that you're part of it too. And it's I say it all the time, and I say it all the time because I think it all the time, and I mean it all the time. I'm so grateful for all of you. You have made such a massive difference in my life on a personal basis. And of course, you guys are what have made the channel what it is. Whatever it is, it's down to you, lot. It's really not down to me and anything that I've done. It's all down to your efforts. And Mark says, good night all. Rover Survival asks, have you got any Rover projects for sale? We have got cars for sale, and some of them are, well, most Rovers tend to be projects, don't they? Yeah, basically, yes. Yes, we have, Mustard and I, under the Mustard and Boaty Do Cars thing, we've got cars for sale that could reasonably be described as projects. Now, obviously, at the yard today, I caught up with the 3 Mustard and Boaty Do cars with which I wasn't previously familiar. Obviously, last Monday, we went to buy a car. We couldn't buy it. It wasn't as described. Since then, we have bought 3, but I've not been involved in that. So, rocking up to the yard today, I had 3 cars to catch up with, and in their own way, they're all fairly fabulous. The first to go on sale will be the Streetwise. It's a 3-door, which is better looking than the 5. It's got the funky 4-seat arrangement. It's in ignition blue, which is a fabulous color. Nice car, full MOT, looks very respectable, drives well. That'll be the first for sale. The other cars, which you'll have seen on Mustard's channel, well, one of them you will have seen. The one is the press release 45 with the fabulous personal line interior, green carpets, green seats. And that's a bit of a project. I mean, it's a running car, it's MOT'd, it's roadworthy, it's perfectly drivable. But because of the history and the relative importance of that car, that deserves to be a project because that should be an immaculate vehicle. And my aim, and I'm sure Mustard's as well, will be to get that car into the hands of somebody who's going to go the whole hog with it. And the third car is the car that arrived today, and it is fabulous. All of you channel members will see it on tomorrow's daily diary. You'll get a brief glimpse of it. In videos to come in the next few days, you will get videos of both myself and Mustard test driving it, and doubtless it will get plenty of coverage in Mustard's own videos. And I happen to know that he took it home tonight, so that'll be a flying start. What a fantastic car. Wait until you see it. Could you ping us the address of the restaurant, asked Neil. Also, I'll message you tomorrow with the ETA for Saturday afternoon so I can drop those Mr. Dave's off. Yeah, not a problem. I'll ping you after this, Neil. It's Kathmandu Gurkha in Ripley. It's number 11 Church Street. Dead easy to find, right in the middle of the town. But yeah, I'll ping you the address and postcode, and yeah, message me with the ETA. As far as I know, I'm going to be around all Saturday. I don't think I'm booked to go anywhere until I actually leave for work. Simone had to fork out for a new phone today. The poor bloody thing is drowning in Google. Oh dear. Oh yeah, well, that would be costly. I'm in Manchester next Wednesday, says Cheeseburger, travelling back to the Midlands on Thursday. Shame it doesn't tie into anyone's plans. Right. I feel your pain, Simone. Phones aren't cheap, says Cheeseburger. And he goes on to say, what cars are you going to drive or sell when Rovers are inevitably obsolete? They never will be. They never will be. Rovers will live on. There will always be Rovers, just considerably fewer of them. And that means that it will be more important to maintain them. I concede that there will come a time where they're possibly a little bit too rare and precious to drive as a daily. And when that happens, I will drive a Ford Focus Mark II, which I'm really rather fond of. Do please excuse me. Gosh. Oh, belching in front of the new channel members. Good, what a thing. Okay, Wetleg and her MOT. Okay, before I show you, anybody want to guess? Anybody want to guess how bad the fail was? Okay. How many failure items, and do you want to guess what they were? And how many advisories, and do you want to guess what they were? Anybody want to have a guess? I'll give you a couple of minutes to guess before I... When can you deliver, says Finger? Oh, waiting to pounce. Does anybody want to have a quick guess? It is 23:37. I will give you until 23:40 to make your guess. And I will talk about something else in that time. I will tell you that for lunch today, and partly because of the insurance situation not helping, the good captain was a little bit skint today, so and I was slightly less skint, so I did lunch, which meant that I got to choose, and I fancied a bit of a change. So we went to the International Chippy on the Millstone Road, obviously, and we had doner kebab each and a portion of chips between us. Oh, God, and it was fabulous. You'll see in the lunch video, of course. Oh, right, we've got some guesses. Otter MG says 7 failures, and his guess for at least 1 would be the subframe mounts. Adam Pure Evil says 3 majors, presumably meaning, and 7 minors. Pingu, very optimistically, says passed, no advisories. I can tell you you're wrong, Pingu. Cheeseburger says guessing on suspension bush failures and subframe welding. Never a bad guess on an MGF or TF. Those subframes are prone, no two ways about it. You've got 2 minutes to keep those guesses coming in. I told you I had Momo last night. Tonight is going to be curry. And tomorrow's lunch, assuming that I can't be asked to go out and track down a Savoy for the Boaty's Savoy feature, will be noodles. 5 failures, 7 advisories, says Ross. Keep them coming. You've still got the thick end of 2 minutes. What else have I got to catch you up on? Nothing much happened on Friday or Saturday. Well, you'll have seen what happened on the Daily Diaries, of course you will. I think pretty much, and this is lovely, I think that most of you guys and girls in my inner scrotum, my inner sanctum, that are the core of my live stream audience, you must all, most of you, if not all of you, you must all be channel members by now. So that's wonderful, because it means that all of the guys that I spend, the guys and gals, sorry Caroline, all of the people that I spend this time with on the live stream, your channel members, so you will see the Daily Diaries on a daily basis. So that's brilliant, because it means that when I talk about stuff, you're going to be up to speed. Guesses from Ping. Oh gosh, no, you cannot guess mustard. Bugger off. Cheeseburger says, I had airline breakfast for lunch and it was shockingly bad. Yeah, well, they are. Pingu says, my muck guy would pass Wetleg probably. God, I'm not buying a car off you, Pingu. Neil says, ball joints, front and rear subframe corroded and brake imbalance. Pingu is going for brakes, bushes and corrosion. Right, and your guessing time is up. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about what happened over the weekend. So yeah, you know all of the daily diary stuff. I think I've mostly told you about Sunday, which was grand. And yeah, today was great. It was a good day at the yard actually. We got the new car delivered. It felt productive. Things were yeah, it felt really good. Felt as if we got stuff done. We had a good lunch. Mustard washed a car live in real time. It rained. Shockers and ball joints, says Ross. Okay, right. Time for the big reveal. Da, da, da. She passed. She passed. Good old Wetleg. She did pass. There were 3 advisories. Rear outer sills getting corroded. No surprise there. Rear discs worn, pitted and scored. And both front shock absorbers have a light misting of oil. But Wetleg failed on her driver, says Pingu. I didn't drive it in. Mustard did. Adam says, shock my 25 passed its MOT with no advisories, despite having chirping brakes. Did it fail because the owner is a twat? And Neil says, so can we take them both out on Sunday? Yeah, absolutely, Neil. No problem at all. We can have an F versus TF off. It's a video I've been meaning to make, actually. I've talked about it. Obviously, I've got an MGF and a very early pre-facelift MGF, so the original MGF, and I've got a very late limited edition MGTF, which has also been heavily modified. Quite a few people commented on the way it sounded on Sunday. It sounds amazing. And if you've seen the daily diary from Sunday, you'll know that I did not give it some stick on the way home. And it sounded fantastic. So, so yeah, absolutely, we can do a direct comparison video. You can drive them. You can drive them both, Neil. We can all go out in all of them. We can make some video around it. Now, Mustard asked me today, and I've been asked this before: which would I prefer, the F or the TF? And I've thought about this long and hard, and there is only one answer as to which car should you have, the F or the TF. And they're both fabulous in very different ways. And the only answer, the only logical answer that makes any sense whatsoever as to which should you own is you have to own both. You need an early pre-facelift MGF like Wetleg, and you need a late modified souped up TF like Melanie Minchbag. And that way you get the best of all worlds. You can't choose one or the other because they're so different, wonderful in such different ways that if you only chose one, you would inevitably be missing out on everything that the other one had to offer. And nobody wants to miss out. So quite simply, you need to have them both. And that is the answer to it. Oh, there we go. Excuse me 1 second. Where's that gone? There we go. So obviously, I'm absolutely delighted to have this bit of paper. It's not just about the MOT itself, although obviously that's rather important. It's about just getting effectively a relatively clean bill of health in Wetleg, in that you know that you're okay to invest a few quid in her. You know that she's not going to be in the knacker's yard anytime soon. Outer sills getting a bit corroded, you got to expect that. They will be done at some point, obviously before this time next year. Rear discs and neither here nor there. and a light misting of oil on both front shock absorbers. Again, that's neither here nor there. Wetleg is a fantastic car. I drove her from the Peak District of the Pennines today. Temperature didn't deviate. She was comfortable. I drove through driving rain, flooded roads, horrendous conditions, and she was just absolutely brilliant. And it's nice to have that bit of certainty that the car is okay, because it means that you can invest both emotionally and financially in the car's future. And I began that process literally on the way home. I've got another piece of paper to show you. Somewhere. Oh, where the bloody hell is that? Oh, here we are. Yeah. First investment in Wetleg. I filled her up with petrol and with the good stuff, with the E5, none of this E10 nonsense. So Boaty has got an absolutely full to the brim tank of petrol. Which means that I can add her to the app so that I can get, going forward, I can get all of the figures on Wetleg as well. As I've mentioned in videos there, I plan to do that with all of the fleet so that we can get ongoing running costs and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, I couldn't be happier, really. Adam says that's fantastic news. It certainly is. Cheeseburger says sell it with new discs, minor cost versus selling point. Pingu says we know your double bluff body language now, Boaty. Yeah, I can't get away with it anymore, can I? Neil says from what I can remember when I drove them before, the F handles slightly differently than the TF because of the suspension. If my memory is correct, the F is smoother. That depends, Neil. That very much depends. Obviously, the MGF runs on the hydrogas system, and how smooth the MGF is will depend on how well maintained and well gassed the hydrogas system is. Now, obviously, by TF, they've moved on to a standard suspension setting. So now I'm pretty sure that Wetleg needs the hydrogas regassing. It's on my list to do. Graham has got the pump and fluid and whatnot, and he will do it for me. And now that I've got the surety of a future for Wetleg, I will get that done. And at the same time, so I'll go and have a day with Graham, and at the same time that I get the hydrogas read done, I will swap Wetleg steering wheel for a leather one, and that will be the last improvement needed to the interior. Obviously, I've upgraded the armrest to leather, I've upgraded the gear knob, etc., etc. The last touch will be to put a full leather steering wheel on her. Ideally, I would like a green one, but Graham has been holding on to a really good condition black leather one for me, and that will finish the interior off nicely. A hard top will be on the cards when one comes up to keep us safe through winter. And I promised myself and her that if she passed the MOT, I would replace that cheap Chinese Bluetooth hands-free all signal dancing stereo with a nice one. But I'm not sure that I will. That cheap stereo just somehow seems to fit Wetleg. It just fits in, both in terms of aesthetics and just in terms of soul. And of course, it functions perfectly well. So there we are. Yeah, smooth isn't an adjective I would apply to either the F or the TF, Neil, to be honest. They'd both shake your fillings out if you've got any. I would take the F every day, says Cheeseburger. Retro. Stiggy next on the chopping board then, Boaty. Yeah, Stigbürt is next for the attention. Well, Stigbürt and Brian they are the two works in progress remaining. And with Wetleg sorted, obviously I can concentrate on them. So Wetleg, full of fuel now. She'll get a bloody good cleanup. I'll try and get her to Graham this month to just make sure the suspension is tip top. Get the steering wheel fitted, and then grab a hard top from somewhere, and you know, she'll have a fairly restful winter. Wheels turned over on at least a weekly basis, and yeah, just make her ready for next spring, really, because God knows autumn is approaching, isn't it? Simone says, I'm still hoping that I win an MG midget. I couldn't fit in one. Adam says, love an MG midget. My girlfriend has plans to get one soon. Should be a fun project. Cheeseburger says, Neil, the F is a Tourer. Build quality let it down, though. I rejected a new one in 1997 and bought an Audi. It was a Friday car. Were they that bad, Cheeseburger? Asked Neil. I think they're brilliant. I won't hear a word against the F or the TF. I love them both for different reasons. The F does an early F, a pre-facelift F, is it's the old school British sport. Well, not just British. It's got a lot of. It feels very Italian in nature. The original F. Just, I mean, I've said it many times. It's like driving a Lamborghini Countach. It's that kind of thing. The lousy brakes, the engine shouting behind your head. I love the original F. I love that originality. I love the fact that it's designed and presented as a pure British sports car. I love the fact that it's mid-engined, rear-wheel drive. That's all fabulous. The TF, there are things that I don't like. I don't like the uprated dash. I don't like the plastics. I'm not convinced about the styling, either at the front, at the back. But I do like the fact that that the suspension is arguably less quirky. I like the fact that it's got. Well, I was going to say I like the fact it's got an adjustable steering wheel, but you got that on the facelift F. You didn't have to get an MG TF for that. I mean, there are advantages and disadvantages to both. I'll be interested to see what Neil thinks when he drives them back to back, and I'll be interested to see what you lot think when you actually watch the videos of all of that. I honestly think that the only logical answer is you have to own both, because obviously they're very similar, but there are enough differences, and all of those differences are wonderful, that you kind of need both in your life. Where did I get to? Here we are. True Pingu, says Ross, regarding my body language. If she had failed, the wine would have been out earlier. Probably would. Cheeseburger filled up the hire car yesterday, 17 gallons for $50. I almost enjoyed filling it up. It's not easy filling a car up in the States, or it certainly wasn't in Illinois or in Nevada. I can't speak for all of the states. Oh gosh, that does sound like a bad one, Cheeseburger. It was Tahiti blue, full leather and wood pack, the only car I've ever rejected. Has Mike been round lately? Asked Cheeseburger. Classic Wheels Wales. He was around last week on the lives. He had a busy time coming up collecting a load of cars. He's not been here tonight, but he was definitely around last week. Oh, I have space in my garage for Wetleg over winter, says Finger. Neil says, Jesus Christ, never knew they were that bad. I've heard stories about the cars built around days off, but I never knew the F was that bad. They're not all that bad. They're basically a good car. They were the best-selling convertible in Europe for 6 years running. Oh, and Neil goes on to say, also, Boaty, we're all set to sort the 25 out. The welder's in the back of my car, ready and waiting. Got the new bolt and seam welder and underseal to paint it once we've done it to protect it. Fantastic. Then all we'll need to do is whatever else it failed the MOT on. Oh, was it the exhaust? Just the exhaust, I think. Diddly-do. Oh, and Mustard says, I need to review the BB45. I need to review the BB45. What's BB? What's the BB45? BB. Lost me on that one. Right, we're just about to finish, darlings. One last thing I want to very quickly mention. I've mentioned it in daily videos. Can't remember if I've mentioned it on a live. Think about it, says Mustard. BB. Oh, sorry. The beige bomber. Yes, of course. Yes, you do, sir. You definitely do. Yeah, well done, Pingu. You got it. There we are. You're back. Sorry about that, guys. The internet's tired. It wants to go to bed. Yes, the beige bombers. But yeah, my Rover 45 V6. Very rare car these days. And absolutely, Captain, you definitely need to review that. Right. Okay. One last thing to chat about very quickly, and then we will be going in 3 minutes. Some of you will remember Joseph, not Joseph Lloyd, not our Joe, not either of our Joes. Joseph, the guy who just stumbled across one of our live streams and became part of the community. And he amused us because his YouTube channel is the Western New York Bigfoot investigation thing. And I was just amused that there was a specific Western New York Bigfoot investigation thing. But, you know, it's a very serious thing over there, so on and so on. And he was a really nice guy. He got really involved in the live streams. We welcomed him. He was lovely, lovely to have. He became involved in the Facebook group, so on and so on and so on. Now, obviously, very recently, he'd been feeling a little bit under the weather. He was still working. There were health concerns. He went to the emergency room. He was admitted overnight. Underwent various tests the next day and just got the worst news imaginable, that he had terminal cancer, and they gave him a couple of months. And then that prognosis was subsequently changed to get your affairs in order. You know, it could be weeks or even a week, which is devastating, obviously, for him, for his family, for his friends. And he won't mind me talking about this, I'm sure. He's been very open about it on Facebook. He's been doing live streams on Facebook and elsewhere. He's been doing regular updates, and he's been incredibly brave. And it's just been a heartbreak, an absolute heartbreak to watch this big character, this big, strong man, this big, strong character. It's just horrendous. Of course, it's horrendous. And I just wanted to update you guys on that and on the situation. And just, I don't know what you believe in, but send thoughts, love for him, for what he's going through, for his family in times to come. There's no good news, obviously, but the lovely news is that today he was able to be moved from the hospice to his home, and he's now installed in a hospital bed at home, where there will be all of the medications and whatnot that are needed for his palliative care to ensure that he slips away peacefully and painlessly. And it was very important to him that he made it home. His friends have been doing a strong fundraising, crowdfunding thing to make sure that Molly, his wife, and the family are not going to be struggling when it comes to the obvious expenses when the inevitable happens. That's a nice title, Cheeseburger. I like that, and it is indeed terrible news. So, I mean, it's horrendous. It's horrendous. To be given that news is horrendous anyway. And to then think, okay, couple of months. And I spoke about this at length in a daily diary. For that then to be changed to a week or a couple of weeks, it's just horrific. He was suddenly, I mean, it's an incredibly aggressive cancer that he has, and it's throughout his body. There's only, sadly, there's only one ending, and he was in tremendous pain. And obviously pain management is the only real thing. He was able to get from the bed to a chair, and then they were able to get him home. And I wasn't sure that that was going to happen, but he's posted pictures from home. He is at home. He's been assured that his end will be painless and will be properly managed, even though he's at home. And he's just being so brave about it that, you know, I'm not ashamed to say that I've been shedding more than a tear over it. I know that we don't know him. I know that he was just a presence on our live streams, a voice in the Facebook group, but he was part of our community, and he's a fellow human being, and it has to touch you, doesn't it? So yeah, just wanted to share that with you because obviously he and I are Facebook friends. He reached out quite early on with that. He loved our community. He loved the vibe that we've got going. He loved the he just loved it, and he was glad to be part of it. And I certainly felt the same way, and I think a lot of other people did. He was made incredibly welcome. But I know that not all of you will be, maybe none of you, I don't know, but certainly not all of you will be Facebook friends. So I just wanted to make you aware, and I will keep you updated with the, I mean, you know, don't have words. Sad news for one of our extended family, says Ross. Absolutely. God bless him, says Cheeseburger. Could you make next Monday a fundraiser for him, asked Cheeseburger? We could look at doing that. But next Monday, oh, God, it sounds awful. Could be too late. Could be too late. God bless him, says Steve Nespour. And there we are. I mean, it's a bit of a somber way to end the live stream, but there we are. It's, you know, it's Joe. He was part of whatever this is, and, you know, he's going through it, bless him, and he's just being so bloody brave, so brave. But there we are. Okay, darlings. Okay, that is it. It's gone midnight. It's time for us all to bugger. Thank you so much for being. It's been a great live stream tonight. I've really enjoyed it anyway, and I hope that you have. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for keeping me company. Massive thanks. Massive thanks to Mark, who I think has already gone to bed, for gifting no fewer than 6 channel memberships. That's lovely. Massive thanks to Neil for his super chat. And thank you to you all for being here. Congratulations and welcome to all the new channel members. I hope you enjoy being an official. A huge welcome back to Cheeseburger, who is back where he belongs in our midst, having had his American adventure. Yeah, good night. And speak of the devil, Cheeseburger says, good night all, great to be back in the UK. So thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your company. Thank you to everyone who supported Sunday's live stream. And that's it. That's it. I will see you, of course, 11 o'clock tomorrow night for Tuesday Night Live. And then again on Wednesday, and then again on Thursday. That's the way that we roll. The BOGGS are here every evening. So there we are. Have yourselves... that's good now. Have yourselves a safe and peaceful night. Take great care of yourselves. And much love to you all. Have the best day that you possibly can tomorrow. And I will see you tomorrow night, 11 o'clock. Thank you again. Good night. Much love. Bye-bye.